Well, I think I did it properly, but I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure if it's gonna go to the cloud or someone's Zoom account. Like it didn't say. The language was a bit vague, but anyways, quickly start sharing. Okay, you should be able to see the screen now, and I guess we always start with the schedule and VIPs, but I think this is like the um, quiet period, so maybe we could just take a peek at the schedule. I believe I saw a beta. Yeah, there's a beta tag. And we have the new Kubernetes lanes now in play and like gating on every PR. So they're not optional anymore. So if you break the new Kubernetes version somehow, the PR cannot physically merge. And the freeze is the most important date, and it's coming up in just a little more than 3 weeks. So heads up for that. Let's see. Going back to the doc. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so we have first first topic from a D, pending PR. Let's see what that's about. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
on my list. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty simple extraction PR as part of the whole get storage code out of the converter. Um, but there is like a bit of nuance there in the sense that right now the manager is actually using an exported function that the converter exposes, and the converter doesn't actually use that function. Like it's the only consumer. Um, and I actually listed my thoughts in the comments as to why I think that's wrong. Like in terms of the manager um, shouldn't be setting like cache modes, and it should all be part of the converter. I'm just not entirely sure if we can do it as part of this PR. So I wanted to raise it here today to discuss that.
Maybe it's just historical that you had the manager having to be knowledgeable about this cache mode somehow, or like the host storage side cache
Yeah,
mode.
so I couldn't find any real historical reason. Like the reason we do it right now is because the conversion logic occurs before we have certain volume sources available within the pod. So stuff like config maps or secrets like ephemeral volumes as well. Anything that requires us to create like the disk file itself. Um, but it could be argued that we don't really care about the cache mode for those volume sources, especially read-only ones like secrets and config maps.
Yeah.
Like the main question I'm asking is whether we can just fold the entire thing into the converter and just be done with it.
Yeah, I don't want to complicate like the the work here and try suggesting like, extract it to a different PR. It's probably okay to fold it. Like
Right.
I'm not sure why you would care about the cache mode for all those other volume types.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking as well. Like the other compelling argument is that right now with check file, which is responsible for doing that, um, we actually try to create the file if it doesn't exist at the time of check, just to see if we can use like direct IO. So
Oh,
I guess just makes sense
that
to have it as part of the conveyor anyway.
yeah, it sounds like defensive programming or something.
Yeah, no, it
Um,
it is. Yeah.
Maybe there's an easier way. I don't know. This seems like a complicated way to go about this.
Uh, I'm not aware of any other way to understand if the file system supports direct IO.
Hmm.
Anyway, unless anyone else has any arguments against it, I think I'll just fold it in. Just wanted to get the blessing of other maintainers. Going once. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so I have a bunch of topics here. Um, One of them is really interesting. It's about a noisy event that goes off for any prime PVC. So I got it from like an internal report. Somebody was seeing tons of these, and well, they're not an issue. They don't. It's just noise. They're a false positive for the populator case because we always rebind, and we're always gonna have this PVC in lost state. And that's just part of the popular framework. And actually, I went ahead and I reproduced it with the Hello World populator, and it's the same outcome there as well. So I opened the Kubernetes issue about this event. Pretty sure it's a real issue. I don't think it adds anything. It creates a whole bunch of noise. I've seen internally at least like two different bug reports where some AI tool flagged it as being the issue. So it's like a classic red herring. So um, created the issue. Actually, I even had like a draft PR, but let's see what the maintainers say. That's on the Kubernetes side. Um, we do have this mechanism in CDI that propagates events, and it could be contributing. I'm not sure. It's the event is going to show up either way, but I'm not sure if the fact that we propagate the event to the target PVC makes it worse. And I see Danny has a
It, it that,
factory.
that could be the case. I remember when I was originally doing that, I was seeing those events like crazy. Um, but it definitely, yeah, it might be generating duplicates. But um, yeah, I was just posting this because I was working on this a couple weeks ago. I had to there was an open bug that benefited from this mechanism, and so while I was fixing it, I had a chance to make the logic a little more sound. I think basically what I think there was just too many copy steps that was happening. Essentially, what we just wanted was to get the bound conditions up through to the data volume and copy the latest events as well. But there was a couple of steps that we just didn't really need to do that were just leading to conflicts and multiple unnecessary steps. So I don't know if this is completely relevant, but I figured I'd put it in there in the talk.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, like not directly related, but maybe if you could like add a commit to filter that noisy event, or
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I'm wrong about it. Like maybe I I don't see how this event is correct in the populator realm. I don't think we're losing anything, and I don't think we have real claim misbound potential in CDI. Right.
right. I feel like you see it all the time.
Yeah.
And you could make the filter, if you're going to filter, just, if the name of the PVC starts with prime dash whatever, and you know that's one of our prime ones, you can filter it.
Yeah, that's even safer. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. So that's again, I was seeing an issue with somebody was suggesting that the event itself is an issue somehow. I don't see how. Kubernetes source code also suggests this is just an event. There's no consequence or there's no like PV changes that follow. So let's see what they reply. I really think it's like a widespread issue. We could stop copying it, but I don't think it'll help because users look at all events. I think modern like Kubernetes UIs will just show you warning events from anywhere from all PVCs. So the fact that CDI propagates it isn't a deal breaker. It's the event itself that's the problem. Okay. I also had a topic around Hotlog. So we have a bunch of community PRs in this area. Um, so I was thinking, after reading a bunch of them, I started suspecting that we're overcomplicating the hot plug mechanism for file system volumes. We use a socket in the hot plug pod to get the container's PID. Then we run find mount with the PID, that mount namespace to find the backing device, and then we have a whole bunch of like exceptions for find mount like NFS or I forget the others, but it's pretty complex and we depend on the find mount binary. So apparently this whole thing can go away if we just make an assumption about CSI. So if we say we only support CSI volumes, then we can, from the host perspective, just craft the mount path. And that's it. At that point, we're done. It's resulting in a lot of deleted lines. So it's definitely a good thing on that front, but I'm not sure if we can actually make this assumption. You could always claim that, backwards compatibility. So volume migration, for example, went this path and it doesn't support volume migrating non-CSI volumes. Simple as that. So I'm not sure what to do about this assumption, if we can make it, if we have to stay compatible. We can physically achieve this. It's just complicating the simplification to a point where you're like, should I make this? So I was just trying to gather thoughts, mainly from Alexander, I guess. if this is a viable approach, we'll
Yes,
have to go like,
yeah, NFS and PostPath are probably your two main ones that are not CSI that, as far as I know, are actually in use. So,
Local, um, yeah,
actually.
like a lot of the, um, yeah, I don't know.
it, but basically anything that's still in tree, there's no
Yeah.
CSI.
Or just that, CSI no provisioner thing.
By the way, Alex,
I mean, not
did
CSI no provision, like Kubernetes no provisioner.
is the volume available in a shorter period than before, or it's the same amount of time?
No, I'm not sure what you mean.
It, I mean, I understand that it simplifies the flow, but does it make it available faster than before, or it's the same?
Oh, like there should be, if you're talking from like the performance perspective,
Yeah.
we can follow up and yeah, make it faster by so today we use the hot plug pod with a vert launcher image.
Mhm.
So you could theoretically swap it to like a scratch image, like a real empty image, and that should give you a performance boost as well. Um,
So that's
it's been
interesting.
It's not, I don't think it's like crazy. It's like
Yeah.
micro optimizing.
Yeah, I don't think it would really matter anyway
Mm.
because the vert launcher image is already on the node if a VM is running there, so it's not going to pull anything, and
Yeah.
and it's already there. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It, it, it won't- it wouldn't shouldn't matter.
The thing is you could ditch the entry point. Today you use an entry point there for the whole PID stuff, creating the socket. So you could have literally nothing run in there. It should give you some gain. There's a pause image, if you're familiar. It's like the most minimal one that the container runtimes use. I didn't think this was the main reason for the PR. This PR and change is mostly about like making it easier to rationalize about the file system hot plug flow. There's a few bugs too, like people have overlapping pods sometimes, and I think you could end up unplugging or you could forget to unplug from the old pod and to the new pod, something like that. And they're fixing it in this PR. They're adding like a filter to the mounts filter. So you'd see this thing here is getting pretty complex. We could get rid of all of it. Sorry, I didn't get the ping about the hand raise.
Yeah, no, like in addition to removing that specific entry point, because we're moving to image volume soon to replace container disk, we could also uh, remove the container disk binary entirely, which is currently like completely unmaintained as far as I'm aware.
I think you still need that for as long as we support contain for as long as we support like Kubernetes that doesn't have like OCI volumes, something like that. I'm not
It
sure you could
doesn't
remove
have
that.
OCI volumes. You mean
Yeah,
isn't it GA in 136 though?
yeah, but we have to support like 3 versions backwards, so 34 still doesn't have this feature as GA,
Oh yeah,
so
no. For sure. I mean, eventually, I mean, it'll be possible to just straight up remove it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's just from a maintainability perspective, it's going to make a lot of things more straightforward. I guess what's the rationale for even supporting those host path PVs?
People use them.
Yeah, I mean, people
Like,
use them. I don't think we can just take that away, and definitely not without a long notice period.
yeah, no, it's I was meaning to put it in a VIP and wasn't going to just merge the PR or anything like that. I thought
Yeah.
the host path thing was mostly about like pre-host path provisioner CSI because it used those, right? It used those PVs.
Um, People use host path, just entry host path all the time. Why, I don't know, but they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like for LUNs that are on a host that you just want to expose to a VM. I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I already took a look at NFS and local, which I believe LUNs are. I want to say LUNs are local. And I got those two working. That part is straightforward, but host path is the really big headache because the vert handler has to be aware of this of the path and exists on the PV spec.
Yeah,
And
the
that's
host path is the annoying one because it's not in a predictable path, right? It could be anywhere on the host.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
remember
doable.
spending a lot of time figuring out how to get it. So if
Yeah, so
if we were to decide that we don't want to support host path, yeah, we definitely need a long deprecation time.
mhm.
But we still have NFS. NFS is quite annoying as well. So,
Yeah, the NFS case is solved in this PR actually, as it is. NFS and local are straightforward, like you said, the path is predictable. I guess so. I'm getting two options that we could two paths forward that we could pursue. Either we get a web going and target this further into the future, or we proceed with this and tackle host path. Just it's going to be annoying, but it's possible. There's nothing stopping us from technically looking up the PV in the vert handler. So, and I guess the third option is do nothing and don't do this at all, since the host path change will complicate it back to something that's not straightforward. Let me write those.
yeah, I don't know. I'm actually leaning towards don't do anything. We have plenty of other stuff, and this works. So it might be a little complicated, but it works. So why spend time and energy reworking it when we have so much other stuff that we need to get done?
Mm. Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with Alexander.
I guess don't have to elaborate on that. We do have a few issues, but this ties into this next point. Uh, then we have to go this path where we take this PR and this PR actually fixes an issue in that area that uh, that arises from this complex implementation we have today. So I guess we have to take this in. And from what I'm seeing in the comments, this is a real problem. I forget exactly what's the scenario. Somebody put it nicely in the comments. I think it's about like KubeVirt CSI and when you have lots of plugs on plugs going on concurrently, you could easily just get yourself in a deadlock. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I think we probably need to fix that issue on a different layer anyways. But we really shouldn't get more than two hot plug volumes, one being deleted and one being created or running. If we have more than that, there's probably a bug in the logic that manages that.
Hmm. Yeah, so
And there should be like a rate limiter uh, on how many of these attachment pods are being created. So
yeah, this goes a different path. This is just using the mount filter in conjunction with the pod UID to decide if it's the correct mount. So you'll never make the mistake of picking the wrong mount since you filter those out.
probably from a defensive standpoint, it's probably good to have this as well as fixing the attachment pods. But,
Yeah, let me comment that actually. It's just that this has been open for so long, and I'm pretty sure it's approved by us already. So I'm not sure how willing the author will be to like take on a different path.
I'm not saying that this is a bad path. I'm just saying that we that this is fixing a symptom of a different problem that also should be fixed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it has a conflict of interest.
Okay. So I think that's all for the open floor. Um, does anybody have any other PR they want to bring up before we dive into KubeVirt issues? Okay. Yeah, this is that's the tricky part about this filter. It relies on the issues being labeled, so they're probably not labeled, so we just have to go old school and try to find SIG storage issues. I already see somebody submitting 2 issues to us, so okay. I guess these are CBT issues and already CPR's up. Right, Eddie? Nothing to triage here.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them will be addressed in the VEP, others already have the PRs ready.
Okay. This is probably not related, but just checking anyway. Just in case it's a storage related behavior that blocks the setup. Yeah, hard to say from this log. I think it's just this is just like generic virt launcher. The real error is probably in the handler or somewhere else. So hard to say if it's SIG storage. Just going to drop this one. Pretty sure I've seen, yeah, there's PR for that. Failed live migration can leak hot plug disk. Right, and it's already approved LGTM. Just a retest. Just waiting for this to actually, for the retest to actually occur. Yeah, nice. This looks related. I'm not sure why the reproduction steps don't list any disk change, do they? I'm not sure what this is about.
Definitely looks like a storage issue.
You know, it's definitely a storage issue, but they're not doing anything with the volumes. Like they're not updating volumes in the reproducer. Like it's just expansion. Oh, are they saying expansion is just expanding will break things? I don't see how. Anyways,
That's what they're saying.
similar issue with volume migration.
That looks like the correct behavior. They've changed the update volume strategy migration, then they resize it and then remove that. Restart required sounds correct.
But should they be getting a target volume of the new size?
Well, no, if you expand the volume, the guest doesn't see the expansion yet until you like run fdisk or whatever to actually expand the partition inside the guest.
Yeah.
Although I don't know why they changed the update volume strategy to migration in this case. Oh, they did a migration to resize it, I guess. That's weird.
This whole issue is weird. Like it's feel like they're not the reproducer doesn't reflect what they're really doing. I thought the migrate like I thought we have a bug in that the migration to the new volume results in a smaller volume than the expanded source volume. But no, they expand it again, like they expand the target after the migration. And I'm pretty sure you don't like sure if you have a file system then you have to run something and you have to resize the partition and but if it's just a blank device that you didn't touch yet, you would see it in the VM. You would see the expansion. That's something we do take care of. Lin
Yeah,
store.
if expansion happens automatically, if it's a block volume or not, or if you have to restart the pod before the pod sees it. Never can never remember if it's automatic at this point or not. I know at some point you had to restart the pod before it would actually expand the disk. I don't know if that's still the case or not.
No, not with Lin store or Ceph. I don't think. Yeah, it's a weird one. Actually, there is no both steps. It's just it's only one expansion here. Probably like an old bug fix we had, but never backported to 1.7.2. Anyways, they really threw me into a spiral with this. Like, this is not a similar issue. This is a whole other issue from the first one. Pretty sure they're using different KubeVirt versions too. Or not. At least different storage. Anyways, I'll take a look at this replacement strategy later. Maybe they have a point here. I'm really not sure what to comment right now. Okay. Did I label it correctly? Yeah, I did. I think we have time for like a few more, maybe one or two. Do we want to discuss this one or
I mean, it's a bit more difficult than I don't think it's a conversation for now, at least.
yeah,
Like
that's
the
fair.
main, yeah, no, like I can raise it real quick if anyone has input. The main requirement or the request is that right now, in order to facilitate any kind of backup, whether it's pull mode or push mode, an additional PVC is required, like for that transient state. And right now, the user is the one that's actually providing that PVC. Like they need to provision it. And the reason for that is that they hold the actual context as to the guest write pattern. Because theoretically, it could be like the backup could require that PVC to be the size of all combined eligible disks. Otherwise, it'll just run out of space during backup. So yeah, like having some sort of heuristic to actually provision that PVC internally um, would be a bit problematic. I have considered though, like potentially just creating it at the full size of all combined PVCs and just exposing a knob to set a different size instead.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Can you like query, can you see like how many dirty bits are set? Because then that could tell you how much you need.
So I could do that. It's not really about that though, right? Like the scratch space for pool mode specifically stores like
Oh, for pull mode, yeah, that's impossible. Yeah.
yeah.
D, what happens when there's not enough space? Like, if we guess too like not conservative enough or whatever, and we run out of space.
The backup failed with an OSPC.
Okay, so it is possible that we could, yeah, then you could retry the backup with a larger one, but it's not going to be the same data anymore. Like it would be, you know, a few minutes later or something like that.
Yeah, I like to also avoid stuff like dynamic resizes and whatever. Um, like it should be a one-shot operation with predetermined parameters.
Hmm.
Well,
Anyway, if anyone has an opinion on this, feel free to voice it in the comments.
they could be resizing this PVC if they manage it.
Yeah, no, right now they are managing it. I mean, they don't want to manage it. That's the main issue.
I wonder, here's another thing. Could we, this is more complicated, right? It's easier to just pick a obscenely large PVC, but could we throttle the VMIO so that the backup can complete? We're talking about this very thing with the snapshot feature that Noam is working on, where QEMU is actually able to throttle IO to guarantee convergence. I wonder if something like that could be on the
So
table here.
yeah, so I was actually discussing it with Noam and I thought about it for this use case too. I'm just not sure. Like it would never be deterministic, right? Um, Whatever heuristic it is that will choose to size the PVCs or that scratch space PVC.
Well, I mean, as you get increasingly close to filling the disk, you get more aggressive with your throttling of the IO, to the point where the VM is essentially paused for a certain period of time. So I mean, but yeah, that could also be a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of different approaches we could go with this. And it doesn't have to be done now either. So yeah, it might be just a good idea to be simpler and then keep it open. Like, yeah, if we want to try to get more clever with some kind of manager that looks at this stuff. And I mean, this Rev did that with, we had thinly provisioned block devices. And when the VM would get paused with an EIO or ENO space, then we would increase the size of the backing storage so that it had the space it needed. I'm not proposing that here, but there is precedent for doing things like this at the management layer
Yeah,
with
no,
QME
I'm
stuff.
aware of what like stuff that Overt Image IO did. We were taking quite a bit of inspiration from it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think we did it. We did groom good bunch of issues, but we skipped grooming those for a few meetings, so there are probably some left, like this one, for example. But anyway, I think we're at time. I can never remember what's the exact deadline to this meeting, but I think we're good. I'll probably take this one offline. Just going to give folks another chance to bring up PRs or topics or PRs that need review. That spent a while being open. If you want to raise those, now is the time. Okay, and thanks everybody for joining, and I'll see you later. See you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks.